United Matters channel, it is. We're here to bring you the Erik ten Hag versus Galatasaray presser reaction. He was gonna here to talk about loads and loads of things into this day, and we're here to obviously bring you what Ten Hag had to say about this game of Manchester United versus the side of Galatasaray that is happening tomorrow at Old Trafford. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And it's always a pleasure to come in here and obviously have a chat with you because you guys are really great, and I'll try on a daily basis to obviously have 1 or 2 live streams to obviously talk to you as the viewers of this channel, because you deserve it. Not so? You deserve it, and you deserve to be talked to, because the world needs to know what your thoughts are. And let's start it off with Erik ten Hag today holding a press conference at Carrington as we host our first Champions League game under the Erik ten Hag era. Last season, you're playing the UEFA Europa League, and here we come to play into the Champions League. Now, we thank God for the gift of life, and don't forget to subscribe. The Muslims, Barak, Lau Fikum. So, first and foremost, they first posed a question of Saturday's defeat. He said, we are disappointed about the result. You have to analyze the game, see the problems, and move forward. That's what Ten Hag really had to say, that we really felt disappointed about the result, so we have to analyze the game and see the problems and move forward. I understand it's obviously good to move on, but how do you move on? It's the most important bit of it all, because if you move on without really seeing heads roll, then you find yourself in a situation of not getting to where you have to be. Ten Hag on results, he said, I don't agree with that lack of progress. The team is moving forward, but we have to make adjustments as well. When you don't have a left back fit, we have to change, and we did. At the end of the day, it's about results, and we didn't get the result. So I understand we didn't get the result, but this game was onto everything concerning Erik ten Hag, because he was supposed to see some heads roll in the team, and he never made the necessary changes. If he made the necessary changes, then would have gone ahead to see him not into this mode. We're going to have to beat this side of Crystal Palace, because these players know exactly that. The untouchable, that is Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. You know, he needs to bench these players, because when we played Crystal Palace in the middle of the week, we rested all these players and we went ahead to win the game by scoring 3 goals. But this time around, it never came to our positive or our side, and we felt into that ilk. Then he talked about if performances are more important than just getting results. He said top football is all about results, but if the execution is not right, the process is not right, you do not win. So both. So execution is all about his tactics that he also does as a manager, because if he doesn't execute his tactics very well, then we are not bound to winning anything this season. He needs to obviously make decisions based on how these players have gone ahead to disappoint us, because these players are really underperforming, and he has to react. Then Ten Hag was asked about the underperforming players. He said, you have to deal with experienced players know how to deal with it, and it's not the first time we're in this situation, because that's a career. It's not only highlights, it's a journey, and that will have bumps. Now it's about the character. Now I understand that it's all about the character of the players, but if you have players on the field of play and you don't obviously do the necessary effort of taking them without really showing off what they're supposed to be doing, what do? It's you to blame. Take Rashford off in the 60th minute. Let him know that even if I don't perform well in the first 60 minutes, I'm not starting the next game. That's what he should know. Even take him off around the 40th minute to get to know that this is a club that deserves respect, and you don't play in our chances like that, you know. So I think Ten Hag needs to rectify that. If he does, everything is obviously going to go well in the favor of Manchester United. Then he went on to the biggest issue that most of us are really going to really discuss about, and it's all about Marcus Rashford. He said the following about Marcus Rashford: if he works hard, invests every day with the right focus, and if the team around him supplies and helps him with movement, then it will come, and Rashi is a player who is capable of scoring a goal in every game. When he's coming in the right spots, he will score. That's what Ten Hag really said. Then he came out to obviously expose him fully that the facts are he's not scoring at this moment, but he has had opportunities like against Brighton, where he had 5 or 6 occasions in a good spot. Now, this is Erik Ten Hag going in for Marcus Rashford, that he's been getting these moments. He's been getting in positions to obviously take us in a very better position to give us goals, but he's not doing it. And he went ahead to obviously come out and warn Marcus Rashford in a very fatherly manner that every game we've gone ahead to play, we've gone ahead to get chances, and you've gone ahead to obviously cost us. In the game of Brighton, he did. In the game of Crystal Palace, he did. Bayern Munich away from home, he did. You get? Even in the game of Burnley, in the first 10 minutes of the game, he got a chance, and guess what he did? He went in for selfish effort. Rasmus Højlund released him, and what he did was to obviously go in for a far post cutback, and he couldn't. So, very many games we're going to have to play, and Rashford has been the problem. Now, the recent one is the one that we played over the weekend, where he obviously looked like a total nuisance into that game. Because if you get to know that the team is compact and you are not good at really going past those players, what do? You go in for the easy pass, find a pass, because every time you get the ball, they are going to obviously see to it that you are cocooned by close to 3 players. And that's what was happening. Every time Rashford got the ball, he was swamped up by 3 to 4 players of Crystal Palace. Now, to Manchester United, that plays in our advantage only if Rashford goes in for an easy pass, right? Let them come to you, threaten them like you're going to obviously make a run, and then find a pass such that either Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, or elsewhere goes ahead to spread that ball into the areas that are really not so much compact, because 3 players are committing to 1 player. That's what's supposed to be doing, and Ten Hag is warning him in advance that you've gotten chances in good spots and not scoring, then you're obviously going to find yourself in a situation of being put up to a bench. And I think if at all I'm Erik Ten Hag, I bench Rashford with effect from the game of Galatasaray and Bruno Fernandes to get to know that this is not a time of playing. This is Manchester United. Every time you get a chance, you have to utilize it, because we were into a game that required us to win a 3rd game in a row, and Rashford denied us that chance. That is it. And I saw to it that in that game, even Rasmus Højlund, after being denied like twice by Marcus Rashford in the first half, he got a chance where he could release Rashford, and he said, all right, let me also go in for a shot. You get? Because Rashford is such a selfish player that he first thinks about himself before he thinks about the team. Every time you see Rashford putting in a cutback or a cross, he just know that's the last resort, meaning that he has no other option to do. But if at all another option is presented to him, do you know what Rashford does? He just continues to go ahead and obviously act as he acts selfishly. So I think Ten Hag needs to obviously strengthen up his words onto this player. Rashford needs to know that this is really one of the biggest games or biggest seasons that should see us elevate to the next level, because at the beginning of the season, you never saw that control, All what we are lacking was control of the game. But we are creating a little bit of chances. But in the game of Crystal Palace, we had control of the game. We reached the final third every time we wanted. But the players couldn't obviously find a line-breaking pass. And where does that go? Right to the senior players. And when we ask him, is Rashford a senior player? He's 26 years of age. He has been playing for Manchester United ever since 2016. he has earned the right to be a senior player and really study the situation. Obviously know that to unlock this defense, we are not obviously going to try to take the ball to these players. Let's knock these players around and see them uncompact their defense, and then we'll find a way to obviously score against them. I think that's what would be running the head of Marcus Rashford, according to me. But if at all he's acting like that, then he's acting like a player like Garnacho. Yet Garnacho comes on through and shows you the intent to obviously threaten these teams and obviously make some easy decisions, because most of the chances we got and shots on target were when Garnacho and Anton Martial came onto the field of play. So it was really a very hard game, but who made it hard? It was Marcus Rashford. That is it. Now, I went into the comment section, obviously put in a question that should the manager start Marcus Rashford, and you guys have gone ahead to let me know the following, that 60% of you are saying no, 40% of you are saying yes. So that means Rashford shouldn't start against this team. That is Galatasaray. Victor Moses, wow, thank you for watching in through. B says Rashford and Onana must be removed from the starting 11 of Manchester United. For Onana, I think he shouldn't be benched. He deserves to start. Then Webby Siwale, let Garnacho start. Thank you very much for watching through. Rashford is wasteful, we all know that. And by the way, some people think that it's the very first time I'm calling in for Rashford to be benched. No, it's not the very first time I'm calling in for Rashford to be benched, because if at all you've been watching this channel for some time, even last season he scored 30 goals, I told you that every time you see us score, or every time you see Rashford score 2 goals, that means the team of United would have gone ahead to score 5 goals. Do you know why? Because there are better opportunities that would have gone ahead to front to us to obviously get us more goals, but he goes in for his selfish efforts. I think I've been vocal onto that even last season, that he's a very selfish player. And when you look at players like Messi, what has gone ahead to make him great is not being selfish. He's an unselfish player, and he gets himself in positions that everyone thinks he could obviously go for a shot, but he goes in for a pass. Then Alfred Kennedy Nyebingira, it's better to let him refresh a bit, because it looks like he's not yet ready for the league according to his performances since the beginning of the season. You're right. I think Ten Hag needs to obviously put him on the bench and obviously know that for the next 3 games you're coming off the bench, and that's our stance if at all you don't improve. Then Mokeza Marvin, I think everyone deserved a second chance. How many chances are you going to give Marcus Rashford? You know? Do you know we're going to have to play 9 games this season? We've played 9 games this season, 7 in the Premier League, 1 in the Champions League, and 1 in the Carabao Cup. The only game Rashford is going to have to feature in is the game of Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. But the rest of the games has been there and has been almost playing 90 minutes in every fixture. So I think, what other second chance should we give him? The second chance is benching him, and then we see him obviously perform better or not. Then Siwale, Aradi, I think, should start using players from the academy. But their players, Garnacho is an academy player who really comes on and really does the needful, and is a better player than Marcus Rashford. I've been vocal about that for a very long time. I believe that Garnacho can obviously utilize his time this season. He can push Rashford to the bench, because the more he comes in and really puts in those goals into the back of the net, then Ten Hag will have no reason. Trust me, when you look at how that stadium of Old Trafford sings Viva Garnacho, Garnacho looks like he's going to be the next big thing at the club of Manchester United. And Rashford has nothing to do about it, because these are things that are given by God. The skill set that Garnacho has, Rashford cannot even come close to it, right? Then Adepare Opeyemi, hello Aradi, thank you for watching it through. Then Yasin, hello, greetings from Turkey. Galatasaray will win, all right, thank you very much for watching through. Bahati Xavier, hi Aradi, Rashford should be dropped for Martial. That's also another option, by the way, because Martial is also a very good player playing off the left attacking side of the midfield. But I would rather see Garnacho starting alongside Rasmus Højlund and maybe Facundo Pellistri. Then I bring on Anton Martial, Rashford, and Anthony, because we all know that there is a very good understanding between Marcus Rashford and Anton Martial. And Anton Martial makes those players look better because of his hold-up play. And when you look at the quick decision-making that Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho hold, plus Facundo Pellistri, I believe they can obviously do us something great. 20 years Rasmus Højlund, Facundo Pellistri 20, and 19 Garnacho. I think that lineup can do us great. Then I'm having Sira Diata. Hey bro, how are you, Diata? I'm doing great, how about you? Then Yassine Yildiz. Anthony, please don't play, Galatasaray must win. Obviously Anthony is ready, and Ten Hag is going to confirm to us that he's ready. I'm going to come there and talk about it. Then Nicolas TVKE, Rashford need to be benched. Mount and Bruno, one should start, not the two. I wish Amrabat can play in the midfield and not on the left back. That is something that Ten Hag needs to rectify also, that Amrabat should be played into the central midfield alongside Casemiro. Let him, Gate, Dalot play the left back, and let either Lindelof or Scott McTominay play as the right back. I know they can get this job done and dusted, according to me. Now, Oluseye Kehinde, bench Rashford. Thank you for watching through. Yassine, greetings from Manchester. Welcome to hell. 1 month later. All right, thank you very much. Then Yassine, I really want Ben Dair to play. We scored 3 goals last year. All right. So talking about Ben Dair, that we're going to talk about, Ten Hag has had something to say about this goalkeeper that we signed from the side of Fenerbahce. And these were the words that Ten Hag had to say about this goalkeeper of Manchester United that we signed on a permanent deal. And he said the following about Ben Dair, because most of us by the thought he was going to start in the game of Crystal Palace in midweek, but he never obviously had a chance to play. Ten Hag said we have to progress Ben Dair, that's clear. He's made a very good impression in training and he's really developing, so we are really happy with it. We are convinced we have the 2 right goalkeepers in the squad to do the job for us. Good statement from the manager, and I think I understand why he never really got himself his debut for Manchester United last week. Why? Ten Hag was under pressure. He needed a win. You all know that. And there is no way he could risk himself by bringing in Ben Dair over Andre Onana. And we kept a clean sheet too. But if at all you watch that entire fixture, there was no reason that would obviously scare Erik Ten Hag, because Crystal Palace only had, I think, 2 shots on target, and they're all saved by Andre Onana. But I think Ben Dair is a very good player and a very good goalkeeper that will obviously get enough playing time. Remember, there is the African Cup of Nations, and Andre Onana might find himself leave for that side. Then the other second about Ben Dair, he said, you'll see Ben Dair play tomorrow, but we choose in the League Cup to play Andre Onana because Ben Dair has to adapt to the England standard. That's why we preferred to play Andre Onana. So he's hinting on Ben Dair coming in to play tomorrow because he's well conversant of Galatasaray, and the reason as to why he was never played in the midweek, he was not so much conversant with what is happening in the Premier League. Something I don't really agree, because Onana cannot be benched in the Champions League game. That is it. Having lost the Champions League game away from home, I don't see Erik Ten Hag bringing in Ben Dair to play any part into this beautiful game of football. Maybe when we play away at Galatasaray, that's when he will go and play, but I don't see him really start because we need a win. Having lost to Crystal Palace in the Premier League, there is no way Ten Hag is going to go on and obviously bring in this goalkeeper to obviously see whether he thrives or not. So to my own understanding, he's not starting. I think it's obviously going to be Andre Onana. And for Erik Ten Hag, he's a manager I've gone ahead to know for a very long time that doesn't come out and obviously tell us something concerning the club and the lineup that is going to obviously to put up. He just tells you so and so is really a variable and the other one is not a variable. Now let's start. Let's continue with this journey. Ten Hag on performances are more important than just getting results. Top football is all about results, but if the execution is not right, the process is not right, you don't win. So both. That's what he said. And let's go to Lisandro Martinez. Ten Hag confirming to us that all what we are told, that he's obviously going to undergo a surgery, was all true. And I'm going to come and really discuss more about it. Now, who do you start in goal tomorrow? Big question. Onana or Bendieri? What's the name? B-A-Y. All right, the poll has been said, because I see most of you are really trying to raise up a conversation between Andre Onana and Bendieri. So it's up to you to obviously tell me, who do you start in goal, Onana or Bendieri? Now, yesterday we obviously got a story coming in from Fabrizio Romano that Lisandro Martinez saw himself get a setback in his metatarsal injury and is going to be out for 2 to 3 months. And Ten Hag is going to have to confirm to us that I can confirm here. Licha Martinez will undergo a surgery, and the team news is Anthony can probably return. So that is Erik Ten Hag for you. He's having lots of problems, and where does it leave us in the central defense, by the way? And that shows you that we might find ourselves going in for maybe a central defender in January, because as it stands, it's obviously one of the most weirdest things that will ever happen to you most of the times. And this is the way things don't go our way, and they obviously project out of proportion that every time Ten Hag is trying to set up, he obviously misses out on lots of things. All right, I had a call that I couldn't obviously not really pick up, but I had to pick up. A moment. All right, thank you very much for always keeping it this channel, and thank you for obviously coming there and obviously being with me here. So, to my own understanding, it's this big time that is going to hate obviously coming through and obviously put us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United. Lots of things are going to hate to happen, and I don't really see things really go our way and not go their way, because we are really having problems in the central defense, and these problems are really continuing to thrive and really hype up onto the manager of Manchester United. As it goes through the problem of Anthony, and Anthony is back in training, guess what is going to hate to happen? Lisandro Martinez is out for 3 months. So no manager in world history has ever gone through all this in his first two years, or in his second year at the club, After all what he dealt with the previous season, De Gea, Maguire, Ronaldo, the sale of the club that is still pending till now, he had gotten a relief during the preseason, and we saw to it that at least he was going to have to get in players that he wants. Now, the sale is still pending. We are having problems with players like Jadon Sancho. Anthony comes in through and obviously gets off that pitch for non-footballing reasons, Injuries are like injuries, and other injuries are really piling up. As more players returned, others are really getting back. That is very weird, and you wouldn't like to see your manager go through that, would you? I wouldn't like to see my manager go through that, and we need to really see to it that this comes to a rest. But for Anthony, he's coming back, and for Licha, we are wishing him a quick recovery. And you know what it is, we're not having Lisandro Martinez in the central defense because he acts well for the club. In the build-up play, he does great. Even in the defensive side, he does great. He's a press-resistant player that helps us build that more from the back, and has some line-breaking passes that he does from the first third of the pitch to the final third of the pitch. Now, for Anthony, Ten Hag has confirmed to us that Anthony will be in consideration. Yesterday was his first time in team training. That is Erik Ten Hag for you. So, as I told you, I think it was on Saturday that Anthony is back, all Friday, and Ten Hag told us he's going to train on Saturday, and here he comes to obviously get us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United, and Anthony is fully back to do the job and get it done and dusted. So that is Anthony for you, and he's doing lots and lots of things to obviously take him to the next level as a club of Manchester United. So wait and see whether Anthony is going to be part of the game tomorrow. But if at all you know how much Ten Hag really loves Anthony and the balance he gives us onto the right attacking side of the midfield, I know he's going to play him. And this is a boy who wants to play in the Champions League, and he wants to obviously come in through and obviously get a chance to take off teams like Galatasaray. And I think these are teams where you should thrive and obviously beat them to pulps if all goes well to plan. Now, Erik Ten Hag on tomorrow's game, this is what he said about Galatasaray. Top football is all about results, but if the execution is not right, the process is not right. You don't win. So both, what's more important, result or display? So he talks about both are needed. And then talking about Galatasaray, we know that Galatasaray has quality. It's not only Zaha and Icardi, but there is Mertens and Ziyech. So they have a lot more, and it's about the team. We have to defend that and have to be at our best to get the best result. So I think this is the team to beat. Let's all be real. The team to beat is Galatasaray. They should follow the sword of Manchester United. If Copenhagen went to their side and beat them by 2-0, and for Galatasaray to come in through to really level that game of football, they needed to see to it that Copenhagen gets 2 red cards. That shows you how weak they are and how we are obviously going to come in through and obviously cause them a shock. I believe they're not going to be a team that's going to come and park the bus, and Champions League football is something different. And having been out of the Champions League for a very long time, all what we need is a win. And I'm going to come back to really bring you more about the preview. But Ten Hag is talking about us winning and obviously getting this team to where we deserve to be. So, to my own understanding, it's about Erik Ten Hag and the kind of work he has gone ahead to do for the club. That is it. So, he needs to get it right. If there are players that need to be benched, they then be benched. And I think the most painful part of Marcus Rashford is benching him into the Champions League, because the Champions League has limited games, you know. And for any player who is really vying to win a Ballon d'Or, be really one of the most sounding names in Europe, he needs to perform well in the Champions League. And if you bench him in this game of football in the Champions League, he will feel the music and will obviously dance to the tunes of what the manager is telling him. That is it. That is Erik Ten Hag for you. Then we have another Ten Hag say on referees. I don't give comments often on refereeing because they do what they need to do. The standards need to be high. You can expect the fans can a high standard, so it should be, because it's the Premier League. I'm sure they do what they can. I trust them. Now, ganging up against the referees has not yet paid anything for the manager. So Ten Hag looks like he knows that in the on Saturday, United would have gone ahead to deserve a penalty, you know, because there are 2 handballs into that box of Crystal Palace. VAR never gave it a recheck. You get? So now he has gone ahead to obviously know that all he needs to do is to obviously give them a benefit of doubt. And what's the benefit of doubt? The benefit of doubt is obviously be behind them, because anything they decide cannot be changed. That is it. So I think it might be a good plan to obviously see to it that you obviously do what Ten Hag is doing to obviously keep yourself in good books. The referees, maybe they'll say, this man is the only one who's going to hate to back us, because in the weekend, during the weekend matches, very many VAR decisions are taken that were really stupid, but that of Liverpool took over the weekend and made headlines. And now Ten Hag is coming out to obviously back the referees, because he knows even if you attack them, that won't change the result. Liverpool went ahead to lose to Spurs, yet they had a chance to go one goal up in half time before they even got the first red card. That is it. So it shows you exactly that stuff is happening, and that stuff is really going to be here for a very, very long time. And it can't obviously see us go to the levels where we want to be as a club of Manchester United. So guys, that is it coming in from Erik Ten Hag. And did he say anything else? I think he did. Now let me go into your live chat. And where did I end? On Bendair, right? All right, Mukasam Havin, but also Ten Hag should revise his tactics and decision making about substitutions. Yeah, that is really huge. By the way, for the match reaction I did for the game of what was the side? For the game of Crystal Palace that we lost by 1-0, I benched it so much onto Erik Ten Hag and Marcus Rashford, because those are the two people that costed us that game. But Erik Ten Hag came at the helm of it because he had to obviously go to where he deserves to be. Then Jang Jukso, I only want Greenwood be back. I don't see him coming back at Man United. Then Labuoni, Ten Hag should not start Bruno and Mount. Their combination cannot work. Okay, right. Bahati, Xavier, Garnacho should be given a chance, and Martial. I think Garnacho should start. Gift Fury, but Garnacho and Pelestri in our wings. I would rather start Facundo Pelestri and Garnacho. Then Arujo Koleb. Rashford must score to bring back United fans' heart back. Obviously, Yasin. I think United plays badly when Casemiro is not playing. Yeah, I believe that, because Casemiro is the reason as to why we are here. Then it seems like a spell was cast on Manchester United after Sir Alex Ferguson. Not the spell, it's how we do things. If we learn to do things better, then we'll become a better club. Then Nicholas TVK, losing Martinez is so bad. Onana all the way. Thanks for updating us every day, RD. Nicholas Kathenya from Kenya, thank you for watching in through. Obviously, bad news for Lisandro Martinez, and it comes in through when even Luke Shaw is away. But if I already had Luke Shaw, you'd have gotten to know that at least Luke Shaw will come in through to play on the left side of the central defense, and maybe Malacia or Sergio Roglan play onto the left. That is it. Yasin from Turkey, Casemiro will receive a red card tomorrow. I feel it. Not really. He won't. Although anything is possible in the game of football, but I don't see it happening. Yasin, such a boy will destroy Rashford. They are playing face to face tomorrow. Yeah, he's the right back of Galatasaray, and is one of the, by the way, he's one of the biggest prospects who is a right back. Plays well in the central defense, on the right side of the central defense, and on the right back of Galatasaray. But I think Garnacho might have a show over him, and even Rashford can shine because he has been criticized a lot. And they lead, and by the way, those players watch these videos. They read our comments on Twitter, on X, and so on and so forth. So they need to obviously get into their place. Then Obeng Bernard, Rashford deserves to be benched because he's too selfish to assist for Højlund. That is it. He's too selfish, and he has to be dropped. Yasin, do you know Saja Boy? I know Saja Boy. I know him very well. I think he's a French international. He plays a right back, and he was so much linked to teams like Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur in the recently concluded summer transfer window. Not so? That is the guy, and I think I'm gonna have to get it right. So guys, thank you very much for watching through, and now I end the poll. And Onana has 63%, Bendair has 36%. That is it. So you've gone ahead to choose Onana to start over Bendayel tomorrow. That's it. Now, you're seeing your deals. You will know better tomorrow. I watch some of your leagues in Turkey, and there are certain players I really know. Like Adagula, I really know about him, and I really saw some games about him and his highlights when he was playing, was it for Fenerbahce in Turkey. I know some good players that obviously play from that side, but Wilfred Zaha comes in through with a thread. We look at the players like Ziyech, they really have experience. They can obviously kill off this team of Manchester United. And the other player is this striker that really had Mauro Icardi is a good one, and it's a team that can kill off on a night if at all we don't obviously rise up to the occasion. And that's what Ten Hag is going to talk about. It's not about Wilfred Zaha. There is Ziyech, there is Masten, and there is Mauro Icardi, a player who can obviously go ahead and obviously kill off the game in a nick of time. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name. This is the Rokani. This is the United Matters channel. Karim, Aktokoglu, alright? You know them very well. But guys, endeavor to subscribe. Yasin, subscribe to this channel because you're obviously going to get more news about this club. So, I sign out for now. See you later. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barak Lau Fik.